Investiture of a scout. Here is a suggested ceremonial for a recruit to be invested as a scout. The troop is formed in horseshoe formation with scoutmaster and assistant scoutmaster in the gap. The recruit with the patrol leader stands just inside the circle opposite to the scoutmaster. The assistant scoutmaster holds the staff and hat of the recruit. When ordered to come forward by the scoutmaster, the patrol leader brings the recruit to the center. The scoutmaster then asks, "Do you know what your honor is?" The recruit replies, "Yes, it means that I can be trusted to be truthful and honest," or words to that effect. "Do you know the scout law? Can I trust you on your honor to do your best to live up to the scout promise?" Recruit then makes a scout sign, and so does the whole troop while he gives the scout promise. Scoutmaster, "I trust you on your honor to keep this promise. You are now one of the great world brotherhood of scouts." The assistant scoutmaster then puts on him his hat and gives him his staff. The scoutmaster shakes hands with him with the left hand. The new scout faces about and salutes the troop. The troop salutes. The scoutmaster gives the word, "To your patrol, quick, march." The troop shoulders staves and the new scout and his patrol leader march back to their patrol. Going on in scouting. When you have been invested as a scout, you can go on to the next grade, that of second class scout. For this, you will learn the beginnings of many useful subjects. The badge of the second class scout is the scroll alone with the scout motto. No scout will remain second class for long, and so you will become a first class scout as soon as you can. This will mean hard work tackling signaling, map reading, hiking, first aid, and many other things. The first class badge consists of the arrowhead and the scroll both. You can also win proficiency badges for your hobbies. Scout uniform. The scout uniform is very like the uniform worn by the men when I commanded the South African Constabulary. They knew what was comfortable, serviceable, and a good protection against the weather. So scouts have much the same uniform. With a few minor alterations, the original scout uniform has met the ideas of scouts around the world and has been universally adopted. Of course, in extreme climates, it has to be modified to suit the seasons. But on the whole, the different nations in temperate climates are dressed uniformly alike. Starting at the top, the broad-brimmed khaki hat is a good protection from sun and rain. It is kept on by a bootlace tied in a bow in front of the brim and going round the back of the head. This lace will come in handy in many ways when you camp. The hat has 4 dents in it. Then comes the neckerchief or scarf, which is folded into a triangle with a point at the back of the neck. Every troop has its own scarf color, and since the honor of your troop is bound up in the scarf, you must be very careful to keep it clean and tidy. It is fastened at the throat by a knot or a slide or a vogle, which is some form of ring made of cord, metal, or bone, or anything you like. The scarf protects your neck from sunburn and serves many purposes, such as for a bandage or as an emergency rope. The scout shirt or jersey is a free and easy thing, and nothing could be more comfortable when the sleeves are rolled up. All scouts have them rolled up because this tends to give them greater freedom, but also as a sign that they are ready to carry out their motto. They only roll them down when it is very cold or when their arms may become sunburned. In cold weather, the shirt can be supplemented with warmer garments over or better under it. Shorts are essential to hard work and to climbing, to hiking and to camping. They are less expensive and more hygienic than breeches or trousers. They give freedom and ventilation to the legs. Another advantage is that when the ground is wet, you can go about without stockings and none of your clothes get damp. The stockings are held up by garters with green tabs showing below the turnover of the stocking top. Personally, I consider shoes more suitable than high boots since they give better ventilation to the feet and therefore diminish the danger of chills and shafts which come from damp stockings, softening the feet when tightly laced boots are worn. Wearing the uniform. The Scout kit, though its uniformity now constitutes a bond of brotherhood among boys across the world. The correct wearing of the uniform and smartness of turnout of the individual scout makes him a credit to our movement. It shows his pride in himself and in his troop. One slovenly scout, on the other hand, inaccurately dressed, may let down the whole movement in the eyes of the public. Show me such a fellow, and I can show you one who has not grasped the true scouting spirit and who takes no pride in his membership of our great brotherhood. Now let's look at this picture. The scout uniform used around the world is very like the uniform worn by the men of the South African Constabulary. Scout staff. The scout staff is a useful addition to the kit of the scout. Personally, I have found it an invaluable assistant when traversing mountains or boulder-strewn country, and especially in night work in forest or bush. Also, by carving upon it various signs representing his achievements, the staff gradually becomes a record as well as a treasured companion to the scout. The scout staff is a long stick as high as your nose, marked in feet and inches for measuring. The staff is useful for all sorts of things, such as making a stretcher, keeping back a crowd, jumping over a ditch, testing the depth of a river, keeping in touch with the rest of your patrol in the dark. You can help another scout over a high wall if you hold your stick horizontally between your hands and make a step for him. He can then give you a hand from above. Several staves can be used for building a light bridge, a hut, or a flagstaff. There are many other uses of the staff. In fact, you will soon find that if you don't have your staff with you, you will always be wanting it. If you get a chance, cut your own staff. But remember to get permission first.